Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets Order Flow webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be looking at live order flow. Good morning, traders, and going through the current market and taking a look for opportunities, imbalances in the order flow, starting to understand how to apply order flow to your trading. Maybe looking at candlesticks or market profile or patterns or whatever. It really doesn't matter. We want to understand the order flow within all of those methods of trading. That will give you the edge. All right. It's what really the order flow is what makes up those patterns, and the imbalances in those patterns will give you insight to where price might go next. All of it is based on order flow. Even on the highest time frame, it is still order flow. All right, so the transactions and the order flow. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. We have an onboarding webinar later today. If you're new to Bookmap and you are struggling, or if you have questions, how to get up and running with Bookmap and data and adding symbols and reading the chart, come to the onboarding meeting. We'll go through the details for you and guide you through getting up and running. All right, it's at 2 p.m. East Coast time later today. It's every Tuesday. We also have our Bookmap Academy meeting this upcoming Thursday, every Thursday at market close, East Coast time at 4 p.m. It's a coaching and mentoring program that you can you journal your trades and activity, and we will give you feedback based on what you've written up, and at the meeting we'll open up the mic for you as well and let you talk us through the trade that you took and why. All right, so let's jump into these markets and take a look, and we're going to take a big step back here because these markets are pretty wild. As you guys know, this is like kind of from the first Trump administration. These markets are driven by news, and we want to be abreast of what's going on in the news, and we'll cover what happened yesterday during the webinar, and then look at higher time frames for today as well. But we'll also look for opportunities like right now. I can see that a lot of buyers coming in looking for buyers to take the market higher. So this is a higher time frame look that we have here, and this is in a new version, alpha version of Bookmap, and you can see all sorts of great stuff in here that we've been looking at actually for a while now. We saw this week here. You can see the dividers here, the spaces. This was an entire week, and we saw the break of this trend line and the momentum starting to come in. So we're looking for that move higher. And then last week we were looking for at this big channel in here, and on Friday we're looking at this channel in here that broke, and it came back and retested the bottom of the channel. And then we had yesterday the open that after the tariff news. Well, that was kind of foreseen in here actually, and I hope some of you guys maybe captured that over the weekend. But beautiful opening way down here below the swing here. And then some news came in, and that is what we saw here during the webinar yesterday. And very, very strong, powerful news event here, or move in the order flow. Okay, so this was that the tariffs would they would kind of pause on it for a moment and work on it next week, or I don't know, in a few days, or it was something like that. And it started off with Mexico. Now it's also with Canada. So our biggest trading partners: Canada, Mexico, and China. So these are significant events, and they'll drive the market. And we should what we learned from the first administration of Trump. he'll tweet something and then the markets will be moving, right? That's what we need to be kind of careful about. Now, that said, like, it's all here in the order flow. It's just that these can be really erratic uh, moves, and traders react very, very quickly to them, right? So that's what we have to be kind of careful about. And all of a sudden there could be like a huge drop, and and it just continues on down. We need to kind of understand the events behind some of these moves. Okay, so yeah, looking for a move up into this 50 level right now, and should probably get it here, but we'll see. And we also have higher liquidity up here, 54, 55 area in Bookmap. So nice kind of strong move here. We had a little bit of data earlier this morning, but yep, here we go. Buyers coming in and looking for them to trade into 50, and then we'll see what happens after that. But you can see who's in control here, right? And this is what to cover and understand on the higher time frames. And hold on a minute. Let me go over to the questions and make sure that everything is good. Okay, yeah, thanks, Dan. Bookmap Academy, and the onboarding webinar link is in there. Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah, here's our move into 50, and look at this kind of top edge in here. Okay, there's a little bit of a stop run here, but you see that? See how it auctioned up here, and see how we I mean, we might get buyers up here again, okay, and they may take it higher, but this is a tapered edge up here, and then we look for a pullback after that. Okay, so now we're going to look again. Is prices back up here? How's it auctioning? Okay, if we see some sellers in here, I would look for them to take it right back down to maybe 49 here, somewhere around in here. Okay, why here? Because this is where those buyers came in. All right, now we'll cover this in here and how to kind of discern and look for distinctions in here. And one of them is right in front of us. Okay, this is a really important element here, and that is like how are the sellers engaging in this market? In here? There's not a lot, and so when we're looking for a potential turnaround, we need to see pockets of sellers starting to come in. Okay, now like right in here, we're starting to see a little bit. Okay. What I need to see another retest back down here and another like cluster of selling here. So then I'm not saying that the market's going to drop. It may, but we're looking for sellers to start to come in. Okay, the trend here would start to break a bit. So instead of looking at a very, very strong trend like this, it starts to break. Okay, so here we go. So let's see if those sellers come back in. You can see the little range that it's developed here around 50. I'd look for a little bit lower here though, and then I'd look for buyers to come back in and take it back up. And we're looking for this back and forth in here to start to unfold. Then would look for if there's more sellers at these lows in here and less buying up in here. Okay, now this is the aggressors, the dots. We'd look for the sellers to try to take it down and trade into high liquidity on the bid, right? And we'd look for more liquidity on the offer to show up here and skew the order book, that there's more sellers at a higher level up in here. It's really pretty simple in that regard. That's what we're looking for. Is this back and forth in here. And once we start to see the back and forth in here and the selling starting to unfold at some of these levels, that's when we start to get the move. Okay, now look at this here, just out of the blue, right? We didn't see this coming. We don't know. All of a sudden a ton of buying comes in and moves this market right back up. and then it's right back down now too. Okay, so this is hard to judge, again, this is back and forth though, and this is the condition of the markets at the moment. Okay, what we can look at though is start to understand again context between all of this buying and where the buyers are on the bid, where they are on the offer. And we did not trade up to and through this 54 liquidity or 55 liquidity up here. This is kind of, you know, it's tough trading in here, this kind of stuff. Okay, we don't know. I don't know if it's a tweet or, you know, something else. But anyway, you know, pretty dramatic little move there. And then we're right back down though again. Okay, stop run as well. Good morning, Shark. Let's see. Market Pulse VPI has changed. Okay. Well, we'll try to get it working for you. No, you should have access to the volume pressure imbalance. So, and Shark, you're right on cue actually. What I'm talking about in here is basically your 1, 2, 3 pattern. Like, we don't want to get involved quite yet. This is too early on the sell side. Okay, we want to stay away. Now I'm going to jump over to the this is the higher time frame view, which, you know, we've been covering here, let's jump over to the TraderMap Pro or TraderMap Lite version instead, and let's go through it over here. Okay, we're just going to get a clearer view here of what's going on, this very, very strong trend. This we want to wait, I know it's difficult, but the squeeze can continue here, continue to edge higher, but we're looking for a turnaround, right? And we want to see a few different things in this turnaround. We want to see that there's maybe less buyers up here, or trading into high liquidity and being absorbed up in here. Okay, that is the case here. It was absorbed up here. They didn't trade through that level here at 54, we want to see then the trend start to kind of wane here. And I think you guys kind of know what I mean here, like this here, right? We're looking for this kind of turnaround to unfold here. Okay, so now what we're also looking for is these clusters of sellers. Okay, we got some in here, not much, and then we're looking for a heck of a lot more, but we're not really seeing too many in here either, not yet. Now it's getting a little more interesting. Okay, so now we have something to lean on, in the order flow or the transactions. Okay, so now are we making higher highs? Do we see volume at higher highs? Are they trading into liquidity up in these areas here? Okay, if not, right, and we start to see it breaking some of the structure down here, lower structure, this is where we can start to look for an edge. Okay, right, so now we'd be looking for, this is not it. If I'm going to be sell side, this is not what I'm looking for. See them bidding up here, and I'm seeing buyers up here. So actually I would be looking for either chop back and forth in here, or even potential for buyers to reach back up into this 55 level now. Okay, we'll see, right? But once we start to kind of understand the transactions and the order flow within this zone in here, we can start to look for a potential move to unfold. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Just putting these pieces together in here, and then something to lean on. Okay, and right now, I mean, I still see more buyers in here. Okay, so I'm just looking at the size and color of the dots and where they're transacting. Okay, here's a break of a small structure here. Okay, so buyers, can they take it up back up to the higher structure up here? 52.5, 53, and looks like it. Now see the lower liquidity on the offer. It's high liquidity, but it's at a lower level in here. Okay, do the buyers want to trade into that area here? Okay, it looks like it. Okay, so what we're looking for is trying to get some clarity out of this zone in here, and it's not too clear right now. Okay, I don't see the sellers. I do see the buyers, but I see this high liquidity at this lower level here. Okay, ready to absorb it. I also see on the bid in here pretty strong underneath here. Okay, so they're bidding up at these higher levels underneath. So I would give the edge to the upside here. Okay, that these buyers will come in and these guys will probably pull, and then we'll look for a move up into higher liquidity. Okay, and there we go. Now, let's see them still want to see it trade higher here up into this liquidity here. Okay, here we go. There they go, 55. Wow, we got some back and forth in here. Volatility. All right, any questions so far? I mean, we were looking for something specific right on back up in this area here. We didn't get it, right? Instead, we did look for this continuation to the upside here. It looked like the buyers had it. It was right in here. Didn't have enough. I could have scalped it up there, but nonetheless, I kind of missed it. All right, so now do I want to be a buyer here on this pullback in here? And I don't, because look how it traded up in here. After trading through this liquidity in here, look at the appetite for buyers at these higher levels in here. Now, I'm still bullish on this move. I just don't like seeing this up here. Okay, so I will stay away and look for sellers, and they're coming in to retest some of these areas here. Still bullish though. Okay, in this very small time frame from the last I don't know, few minutes, to be honest. Right, this is still bullish. The buyers are in control here. Okay, this is the selling pressure that came in to counter this buying pressure. No, it's not enough. Morning, everybody. Dieter, James, welcome. All right. Good morning, Rainy Days. Welcome back. Yeah, well, anyway, you can see our outlook here is still bullish. Okay, these guys right now are still in control of the market. This is where they moved. This is where they're retested, and now it's just chopping around within the zone in here. Okay, the bias of it continuing to the higher is less so in my mind due to the transactions that we see up here. All right, now here come the sellers to try to take control of the market. Okay, and so far so good. Okay, I'll watch the buyers take it right back here to this 53 level, and maybe they can even get above it. Okay, so what we're looking at here is this this battle kind of unfolding here. The control was over here, and we're gonna, for just simplicity's sake, we're gonna go with this control here. I mean, there's also some buying down here, so maybe this level also pertains. We'll go with this one and see how it has been tested here, and then they broke through, and then look at the retest here. Okay, I was hoping they'd get a little bit more, because there's a lot of buying up in this area here. So I'm looking for buyers to retest where these sellers came in right here. Okay, for you guys looking at a footprint chart, we can add a footprint chart on here, and we've got one in Bookmap as well. That's where you're going to find your high volume node in here on that sell side. Okay, I mean, you're going to see a string of it all the way through, but we're looking at this one in particular here because that's where it dropped from. Okay, so here come buyers trying to, they're going to likely take these guys on and trade up to that area right now. Okay, let's see. Do they have the buying pressure in here? Rotation, another rotation. Okay, just testing it. Now let's see how much the sellers re-engage in here. All right, so test it up here again, and now we're finding our sellers come back in. All right, so now we're looking for the sellers maybe to drive it back down to the bottom of the range here. Okay, around 50. And let's see if they can rotate in here. No, just seeing buyers right now. And let's see, there's a few questions here. Good morning, Ryder. Want to learn more about Bookmap? Saw the buyers took the liquidity. Why price fell? Could you please assist? Where? What area? What time and what area, Ryder? Happy to go through it. I mean, when you boil it all down, I mean, just look at some of these areas in here. The high liquidity is up here, right? If the buyers are interested, we're looking for sellers because they took control in here, right? So we're just looking at the aggressors right now. But note here, okay? Note the high liquidity traded in here. Okay, pullback. Okay, this one traded through it, but look at the pullback to it here. Okay, this happens all the time. Okay, so now let's see if we can get, the buyers are starting to rotate back in now. Okay, they're trying to take control above this area here. And I would look for them to try to trade up into this liquidity here. Okay, we're kind of bouncing around between areas of high liquidity up here around 56, and then some on the bid maybe down here around 49 or so. All right, so note this pattern in here too. This is looking like a head and shoulders pattern, right? Do we see an order flow shift and change here? A little bit, right? Look at all this buying in here. Look at all this selling in here. Okay, so now let's see then. We just got a small pullback in here. Okay, back up to here. Okay, did I get a cluster of selling in here? Not really. I'd look for the sellers though. In this instance, I'd look for them to try to take it down into our 49, maybe 48 here. Okay, and here they come now. Not too convincing, but they're down. We're down there around 50. Okay. We can also look at a few different things in here. Someone was asking quite a few questions about cumulative volume delta. Good morning, Michael, and oh boy. Bullish, can you point to the higher target? Yeah, just that liquidity up there at 56, 57. This is kind of shifting and changing though. See the clusters are selling. So right now I'm actually looking for the sellers to drop it down to here, 48. Here we go. Okay, let's see if they can drop it down further. Okay, and fill in, see the low volume that's traded in here on this move up. I mean, this is high volume here that moved that market higher, but it traded through it really quickly. So we don't have a lot of transactions in that area. So we're looking for sellers to kind of come back in here and test this area and fill in the gap and see if they can take on the buyers down here, right? And there's liquidity there. So that's where we're headed, or we're looking for the sellers to test, is that liquidity down here at 45, 45 and a quarter. See, again, the same thing. This is very repetitive in here. The selling actually came in here, and it broke the structure. Okay, looking for a retest back to it. Okay, here they come. Right now, are the buyers going to upend this? They're trying. They're trying to take control back up above here. Okay, well, where might the sellers re-engage in here? So it looks like these sellers are trapped. Okay, so not looking good in here for these sellers in here. Get back up above here and get some buying, and we should see some stop runs hit back up into these levels up in here. Okay, so now this is let's just go through this here, okay, because this can be a little challenging in understanding order flow, because this is a critical level right here, right at 50. Well, not only is it 50, the figure, but like there's kind of an upending here. This is where the sellers came in and moved it lower, and this is where buyers took it right back. Okay, so this is a critical pivot here. Now, it doesn't have to be the figure that we see this all the time. Okay, but this is the battle zone right now. Okay, it just happens to be around the figure as well. Where's all the fundamental education located? So are you talking about like news related type of fundamentals, or because we don't really have too much of that, but I'll fit it into the picture for you anyway, because you'll see it in the chart, you'll see it in the order flow. But anyway, you can go to bookmap.com and then click on education right on the toolbar here. That'll take you right to our learning center here, and you can go through the courses in here. The Get Up and Running course, get started here. Go through downloading, running Bookmap, up updating Bookmap versions, connecting to data, adding symbols. Okay, these are basics here, and it gets into more depth in here about now navigating around the chart, displaying elements, volume, the heat map, columns, etc. So this is a good course here that will get you up and running with very short, concise videos. We have a market mechanics course that goes through. I know I've demoed this for you so many times. But it really is essential to understand what happens here in the markets. It is rare, actually, to find that newer traders come in and already know this. Okay, so if you don't know this, I would suggest like just putting aside everything you've learned about candlesticks and technical analysis and stuff, and just start to understand what makes the price move here. And understanding this context between liquidity and market buy orders, okay, aggressive orders, and understanding what happens when someone wants to buy and you got to find a seller on the other side. Okay? That's such a simple, it's essential to how markets work. And I'm always kind of amazed that even veteran traders that have been trading for quite a while are unaware of some of those things. So like, for example, here, this is what we were just talking about. This is where the liquidity is. This is where the buyers went. The buyers met the sellers here. And look at the pullback. Okay? We did not find more buyers after that. They were totally absorbed up here. In fact, it's a stop run into that liquidity as well. Okay? Understanding this context is essential. Right? Look where we broke out from and marked up here. Look where buyers are on the bid here. Right here. You just can't make this stuff up. Right? This is where the sellers came in, took control. This is where the buyers took it right back. And now they're willing to buy here. Again, this is bullish. Okay? Now we're auctioning up here again on the buy side. Okay, so actually here I'm looking, if we can get some buyers in here, I'm looking for them to try to take it back up into 55 or maybe 56, 57 up here. Okay, you can see that we didn't get that. Sellers are coming right back in, trying to take control again at the figure here. Okay, seeing buying interest again. All right, anyway, I think that's, I hope that was helpful, James, and answers your question. These kinds of discussions are things we go through in the Bookmap Academy all the time. If you guys want to take a look, for example, come over to our Discord channel, and why I'm mentioning the Bookmap Academy is there's a lot of traders out there that you want to really kind of hone and perfect your trading plan, your trading journal. Then utilizing something like the Bookmap Academy might be a really good road to go down. Okay, so now we're getting our breakout here and looking for the move still higher up into this liquidity up here at 56. Yeah, let me find it here. Here it is. So here's the Academy page right here, and this is where you post and get feedback. Here's Vinny, Academy member, doing really great work for quite a while now. DNT Matter, have been journaling and doing really great work as well. I mean, look at some of this stuff. It's awesome. Yeah, here's new guy. I think maybe Trading His Life. You're in here right now. Really doing some really nice work as well. Very simple strategies in here. looking at his VWAP above or below. Then he's looking for order flow to support his trade idea with VWAP. That's it, right? And that's an edge. Okay, more from DNT. He's been doing a lot of work, a lot of nice work in here. Vinny, Shark. Yeah. This is what we promote, guys, in the academy. You want to see you make a checklist in here. This will be helpful for you, okay, in your setups. You'll know what you're looking for. All right, guys, we're getting our move here up into that liquidity. Now, let's start to assess this context in here. I'm still seeing more buyers back through this area, so I'm looking for them to still take it higher here. Okay, not much, but taking it a little bit higher here. Now let's see here. We're getting our pullback. Okay, and I want to see a little bit more trade up here, and then maybe we can get into some of this liquidity up around 60. Okay, typically this is the context that I'm talking about. This is a lot of buying in here. So to me, it looks like in context here that this buying is more powerful than this selling here. Okay, but when we hit high liquidity, typically we look for a pullback, and the pullback should come to right around in here where these buyers came in and broke the structure. Okay, so now let's see if they support it, and we get more buying after that, and we can get up into these levels of high liquidity up here. Okay, so here they come. The bid is starting to show some interest too. Okay, that's good. So we're getting our buyers, not many yet, but yeah, might have another rotation, and that's how we can get into a choppy range. Okay, now we're getting our more buyers up here. All right, let's see them break it and hit up into 60 level up here. Okay, again, it's understanding the context in here. So this little area in here is what we want to read, what we want to understand. Okay, there is more buying. You can see the big green dot traded into that high liquidity, and it traded through it. Okay, so therefore we're not looking for a ton of selling to come in. Now it may, right? We never know. All of a sudden, like someone might, we saw it yesterday, a big seller come in and move that market, and do it again and again. Okay, now we're starting to see, now we come up to this level, we trade into this liquidity. Now we're finding some interest on the sell side. And now how does this selling relate to this buying? Okay, there's still more buying in here. Okay, so maybe this is just a bit of profit taking, maybe some new sellers coming in here, but trying to catch the falling knife here, and they will get squeezed and probably fuel a move up into 60 here. Okay, let's see here. Shark. Let me get caught up. Sorry, guys. McLoco, welcome back. Good morning. Always good to see you in here. Scout, nice. You're a big fan. Spent some time on Charles's stream. Yeah, he's awesome. Really, really good with his Dalton and volume profile, market profile. How do you make a buy from the chart? Okay, yeah, so you're connected to Interactive Brokers. Great. It's really simple. First off, let me show you the resource first, and then we can go through, and we can even, I'll demo it for you. Go to the Learning Center. Okay, go to bookmap.com. Okay, click on Education, and then the Getting Started course in here. Click on that. This goes through all of I mean, like 80 or 90% of the functionality in Bookmap. Okay, this one here is the one you want to open up, trading. And then in here, you can see very short videos, go through them. Trade control panel, the trade control panel details. This is an overview. Placing orders, this one will be very important. Okay, and then OCO, special, brackets, trailing stops, etc. Okay. Anyway, that's the place to go. And then let's take a look here. All right, and go through. All right, so we're at the bottom of this range. Do we still think there's buyers in here? Let's see if we get some up here. Nothing. All right, so okay, I took a shot at it. Now this is not a trade room or a position that behind like data or anything like that, right? This is demoing this for you guys, and there's a cluster of selling here right in front of me. I'm just looking for we're at the bottom of the range in here, and I'm assuming now, I didn't see them quite come in, but I'm looking for buyers to start to come in here. Okay, and they may not, and we may just see price hit into this 53.75 liquidity here, and maybe go lower and we'll get stopped out. Okay, but let me show you again. So here's my I'm using bracketed orders with 30 as a take profit and 15 as a stop loss, and I can set another order in here right off the chart. Now you can use these buttons here as well, but you can also just left click here on the bid here, and there's a limit order here. Okay, I will be a buyer at this price level. You can left click, hold, and drag them around as well. Okay, if you want to be a seller, you want to be on the sell side, well, then you will you will right click up in these areas up in here. Okay, if you want to cancel the order, right? And I'm front running that high liquidity up here. Okay, you can cancel it two different ways. You can left click on it here and cancel it, or you can even use your center mouse wheel and click on it up here as a button. Okay, let's take a look here. Buyers are struggling in this little zone in here. Boy, not seeing much at all. Actually, yeah, now we're starting to see a bit more selling in here. Okay, they're going to drive it back down to this cluster of activity. Okay, we're going to get stopped out there. Now note this. Now this is kind of your mean reversion trade in here, and let's just go through this in here. Like this cluster of activity in here is just aggregated in here on the horizontal. Okay, it's just taking a price level in here, and we're stopped out on that one too. It's just taking the price level in here and aggregating it horizontally. Okay, that's all it's doing in here. This is, and it's showing it as a kind of bell-shaped curve, or it just accumulates in here, right? So that idea that we were just talking about earlier about a cluster of starting to understand the shift and change in the order flow, okay, and clusters like down at these levels in here. Okay, that wasn't a very good read in here. This is a nice little cluster here, and it held. We get this very little buying and exhaustion up in here. We would look for the sellers to take it right back down. Okay, anyway, we'll look for another opportunity in here. This is kind of just shooting from the hip. Not too happy with that one, but we'll find something much better to lean on. Anyway, this is trading from the Bookmap chart. You can also trade from the dome. There is a dome in here that you can add in the columns, and I'm not going to demo that for you at the moment, but it is in here, columns and the trading dome in here. Okay, and you'll see it. We can demo it if you guys want. And this is just one of the domes in here. We actually have two different domes in Bookmap. One is in the columns, and the other one is free floating, that comes with the Global Plus version of Bookmap. Very professional, high-level dome in here. Has pretty much anything you could ever ask for, and it looks like this. Okay. Yeah, so you got all sorts of different columns in here, delta columns, and you know, you've got your ask, your bid, and you got your aggressors in here as well. Okay, and you can trade from this as well, right? So I would need to, well, yeah, let's just put it that way. You can trade from that as well. No problem at all. And if you prefer. Okay, now here we go with the buyers trying to upend where these sellers came in. Okay, now this is looking a little different now. Look at the high liquidity in here. At a lower level in here, there's our context. Okay, so there's more sellers in here lined up to sell, and they have supply here at a lower level. Now we see the aggressive sellers come right back in. Okay, so now we're kind of back into, you know, this level in here where price is pretty comfortable trading. Okay, if we want to move outside of that by the sell side here, we need to see a lot of selling come in. It really needs to pick up here, and they need to move the market away from this comfortable area in here. Is that enough selling in here to do it? Maybe. Let's see if they can pick it up here. Or are we going to find buyers at the bottom edge of it here? Try to trade back up into this liquidity up in here. Boy, I like the sell cluster here a lot. Okay, so now this could get upended though, right? By the buyers, they can get back up above it and squeeze up into, you know, the liquidity that we had mentioned here. But you can see the even in CVD in here. See how this is kind of, we're looking for the head and shoulders in here. Now that failed here, right? We get one more push higher. Okay, but look at CVD in here. That means it's this cumulative volume delta with no relationship to price, just buy minus sell. That's it. And you can see that we made a higher high here, but cumulative volume delta didn't. Okay, why is that? Well, just because of all of this selling in here, this buying in here didn't raise it back up to this level here. Okay, so in that sense, it looks like sellers are trying to take control. It looks like we are going to get that reversal based on cumulative volume delta. Okay, the problem with cumulative volume delta is all of a sudden the buyers can come in here above this cluster and just take control. Okay, now we're back down here with selling. Okay, where are the sellers? Okay, there they are. So I'm gonna, now this is taking a trade here by right-clicking at the bottom of the range in here, and then looking for a break of it here, okay, due to the things that we just talked about. Okay, now we don't know, but and this is a pretty horrible entry. Usually we're looking for a pullback in here, but because of all of this selling in here and what we just talked about, the break is more likely to unfold. Okay, now where are we looking for price to go? Okay, well, you can look at the swings, you can look at liquidity in here, you can look at measured moves in here, you can look at your Fibonacci levels, whatever it might be. Okay, well, let's just put our target here. Okay, because this is we know the buyers are here. Okay, or at least the limit buys are here. Okay, there's more supply here again at lower levels on the offer. Okay, we're trading into, god damn, this is just back and forth in here. Just, yeah, just well, we found some buyers in here. Yeah, getting frustrated here. All right, well, buyers met the sellers here. Okay, now we want to read this context again in here. Okay. See if sellers can take it right back into test these guys here. There's more selling in here. We know that, right? They're in here. Okay, so let's see if can these buyers fail in here. Okay, there's some exhaustion. All right, well, if that's the case, then yeah, we can even hold shift down, and we can right click in here, and we can place a sell stop order. Okay, so we're looking for the sellers here. Now we're filled, and we're looking for the sellers in here to take it into the range and maybe the bottom of the range here. Okay, we found the sellers up in here as well. Okay, they traded into that high liquidity in here. Okay, so now what have I got going for myself in here on this order flow trade in here? All right, a little bit higher time frame, we have the back and forth. Okay, we see there's more sellers in here. Okay, they did break the structure here. It came right back into it, but it traded into high liquidity in here. Okay, and we do have our big cluster in here, and I'm looking for sellers to bring it back down into that cluster. And we'll see if they can take it further. Okay, we're in this range in here, and that's what we're playing. Okay, target down by high liquidity here, right in front of 45, down here where the buyers came in. Okay, so we're looking for a test of the bigger structure in here, back at just around 1007 or so. Morning, everybody. Let's see. Any questions here? Znode, if this is too complex, I mean, look, just simplify it. You know, If you're looking at your candlesticks, what do you trade? How about this? You don't know if you can learn all this and read it like this. You can. It's not that difficult. So what is it like that you, how do you trade? And we'll show you order flow within that, the way that you trade, as long as I can bring it up on the chart. Okay, now is this our, so okay, so we got our sellers in here. Now, do we want to even maybe consider moving our target here? I think I'm going to stick with it in this environment. Like yesterday, boy, it was just would reverse hard and come back and reverse again hard. I'm going to take my profits in some of these areas in here. No, what we're looking for is a real simple thing. A Zanoid is understanding the context, high liquidity. Okay, high liquidity here, high liquidity in here, and then starting to trade in here a little bit. Okay, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of buyers in here. I'm seeing more sellers here right now. Now like I said, we never know. Like right in here, we saw the same thing, but look what happened. Right, the buyers came in and pushed it one more time back up. Right. So here they come again. Right, they're going to try. They're trying to move it right back up. Okay, back into the middle in here. Okay, where price is pretty comfortable trading. Okay, are we going to find sellers try to move it away? That's the question. Okay, or are the buyers going to try to upend these sellers in here and try to get back up into these areas? Okay, I'm still leaning on the more selling in this range in here so far. Okay, so I'm sticking with it. And we're finding buyers yet again. The appetite for the buyers is coming back in. Now they're trading into high liquidity. Okay, so do they still have more buying pressure to trade through it? So Zanoid, like what just give an idea, just an idea. Are you looking at candlestick patterns, or what is it that you're looking at when you're trading? And what have you learned? And what do you employ for your trading plan? All right, let's see here. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable here. We're gonna get stopped out. There's just more buying pressure in here still. And we had the right read in here. The and we're still leaning against that. This is where, though, I think it's really important. Like, I was looking for I was pretty sure we were going to get it. It was a move down into this liquidity here because of the selling pressure that we covered, and we were wrong. Like, the buyers came right back in here, attacked the sellers here, got back up above it, and now pressing up into high liquidity. Okay, traded into it as well. Okay, and we're kind of hanging out up here, and we're still finding, some buyers up here. So likely we're going to go higher. Okay, but we'll see. Typically, like we said, the buyers met the sellers up here. We typically look for a pullback. We may get a reversal. I'd love to see these sellers just pull away from these buyers in here and stop them out down here. Let's see if we can get it. But see how there's just more buying interest up here. So it's likely to press the top edge. And there we go. I still would have made the same decision right in here. I mean, this looks great to me. We had this one pullback in here. We got back in again. It still looks pretty good. We're getting our buyers back up in here, and we're going to get this squeezed to the upside. But we had the right idea, the right read in here. We had our clusters in here. It just came back down to the swing here, and that was it. Okay, we didn't get the move into our target down just below the swing in here into this area right in here. And that was where the high liquidity was at 45 as well. Okay, so that's maybe a trade management issue on my part. Look for the swings. I typically like to look for the swings and also the high liquidity. Now, this was not high enough liquidity for me to justify this the buyers to come back in. I thought we had still more selling pressure. Okay, that's it. So stop to break even at that point, or I see something come in like this, take your profit, or take your profit at some of these other areas in here, like at the swing. Okay, now that's just reflection off of this. And look, interesting that I saw a video just yesterday of a Bookmap partner of ours who he's amazing. He's an excellent trader, he said that he just finished one of the hardest months in his trading career in January. He started the month off with like a string of losses for, like, I don't know, half of the month. Didn't have or at least the first week and a half, 2 weeks, he didn't have one winning trade. Now he came back and knocked it out of the park, but he had to kind of take a step back and reflect off of what was going on. So last couple of days, looking back and starting to maybe reflect off of what's going on in here. I mean, this is there's a lot of kind of back and forth in here. Yesterday it was all over the map, today, like, I think we had a pretty good read in here. We did get the direction, it just didn't take the profit. Okay, so how do I go back and reflect off of that? All right, well, we just talked about taking the profit maybe down in these areas in here. And then, or stop to break even, or it's not an order flow issue here. It's a trade management issue. Okay, that's why we're trading from the chart in here. Okay, not just to demo the trading, but to also cover trade management. Getting really good at trade management is key. Okay, you can take a losing strategy and turn it into a winner with good trade management. You can have a lesser edge than someone else and with good trade management, you can beat out that person, right? So just keep it in mind, and we'll get better and better, and we'll come up with more and more trade management strategies in here, and start to cover more details on trade management. Okay, it also kind of goes hand in hand with psychology, I find, because you have a winner, you build confidence, and we never know, right? So this excellent trader, like I was just describing, he was, he knows his strategies extremely well. They just weren't working in the environment he was trading. So he had to go back and adjust his trading to the environment he was in. Right? So yesterday, well, it was fundamentals moving the market. So we started off today, or news moving the market. We started off today talking about that. Okay, and then today, I started off demoing, not really looking for a direction, and that wasn't a good idea. We'll look for the direction next time. And then secondly, look for taking your profits in this environment. There's just equally a strong look at the buying coming right back in after going through this whole analysis of that sell side in here, right? Looking like a pretty good. Look at lower highs starting to make lower lows in here, and more selling. Okay, higher liquidity on the offer at a lower level in here. This all fits what we're looking for, and this is what happened. All right, so and this is the environment we're in at the moment. Okay, so anyway, just is something to mention, and go back and reflect off of what is working and what is not working. All right. Let's see here. Any other questions in here? Trade price action, key levels. Okay. A little bit about candles, some indicators, some custom settings on your own. All right. Well, okay. So continue with all of that. And Xenoid. And then add in some of the liquidity in here, right? So in fact, I would suggest this if you're new to Bookmap, keep it really simple to begin with. Okay, just start to note like your key levels. Does your key level line up with high liquidity? That's it. Just look for that. Okay, now did it trade into it? Okay, do you see sellers come in after that? Now you've got something, right? So just one step at a time. So bring your key levels in, and then now you can start to look for your price action. So your price action here, for example, this is pretty strong buying, okay, after all of that selling that we saw in here. Right, and look at the angle in here and look at the dots, and now we're going to look at, we're up at a key level here at 60. It's high of the day. Okay, what does it look like up here? Okay, well, buyers they moved it above in here. They're in control now. They took control back of this market. Above 51 in here. Okay, so it looks like we're just about to trade into 60. Okay, what does it look like up in here now? Okay, well, I still see buying pressure. Now there's some selling, but I'm still seeing buyers in here. Yeah, all right. I mean, another thing, we've demoed this many times in the past. And let me get over to Discord. Sorry, guys. Just been kind of consumed by some of the stuff going on here. Oh, shark. Okay, yeah, I'll go over your image. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, FOMC speakers coming up as well. Yep. CT51, a key gamma level. Okay. Um, so yeah, this is what I was going to suggest. Put your key levels on your chart. Let's even we're gonna do something in here. We've done this exercise many times in the past, but I think it might be helpful for you. Just kind of like put the training wheels on here, and we will look at stops and icebergs here. We'll take them off the chart and just kind of really simplify things. So I'll take my orders off the chart here as well. Okay, so we don't see that. And let's close up that, and let's clear our drawings for now. Okay, so right now we only have the aggressor volume and best bid and offer. We're going to even simplify that. I'm just going to show actually candlesticks, okay, because most of us are coming from this direction. And we'll take off volume dots, bars. All right. So this is a 5-minute is this five? No, this is a half-hour chart. Hold on. This is a 5-minute candlestick chart. All right. And open, high, low, and close, and starting to understand like buying and selling pressure in the candles. And you know, like you can see here, this is some buying pressure coming in, and this is where the sellers come in. This is what we were trading on the way down, looking for the move just down to here, and missed it, didn't get it. And then the buyers come roaring back up above it. So you can take a look at the candlesticks in here. So you know, this is almost like an engulfing pattern. Really should be, you know, down here and fully engulf this this candle here. But this is pretty bullish here, right? So based off of that, you'd be looking for this continuation in here, right? Okay, now can you justify that in the order flow? Right? Up in here, we still bullish. This one not so bullish. Okay, but now we're back in, and the current candle, which hasn't closed yet, we don't know yet, right? They just broke above here. Maybe we get a move back into this mean here at this 51 level. Okay, and we look for some selling pressure to come in. Okay, that's your candlestick analysis in here based off of just open, high, low, and close on your stick. All right, so now we're going to add in best bid and offer to see the pure price action. This is what happened on that move up. Okay, it moved up pretty violently or quickly, steep angle, and then it consolidated. It broke out and retested the little level here, and it accepted higher. All right, so that's what's happened here in the pure price action of best bid and offer, streaming over time. That's what you see between the candlesticks. Now let's add on another level and look at volume. Okay, the bars and the dots. Where is the volume transacting? Now we know we look for more buy volume green dots at the higher levels in here. Okay, and then you're likely to get your price discovery due to that. Right, and so we have a context now. With the candle, we can see where the volume is transacting on that price action. Okay, that's completely lost here on the candlestick. Might have it on a bar down here, but that doesn't really matter. You know, who cares about the the bar overall. We want to understand where it's trading in that bar. That's what matters. Okay, so like for example here, this is exhausting out on the buy side. The candle's still green. It looks bullish. Okay, but I'm looking actually for sellers to come in and try to bring it back down to the bottom of the range here. Okay, let's see. Okay, and that context is in here. Right? So that's two elements. Right? Now, let's go over the third element, and this is where Bookmap really shines, is starting to understand this. Trade up into high liquidity, a lot of selling here, trade through it a bit, but we start to exhaust out. So there's our third piece of context. Okay, so starting to understand this level up here at 60, your price action, your candlesticks, your volume, and who's taking the other side of the trade. Okay, so like right now, I mean, this is still a bullish move, but I'm looking for sellers to try to bring it back down here. Okay, and then we can take a position based on that. Okay, we can just miss it. All right, and let's see if we can get our move back down to here, just bottom of the range. Maybe this liquidity as well. We'll see. Right, these would be trapped buyers up in this area, up in here. Okay, now we're taking a counter trend trade, and at the bottom of the range here as well. Not too good. We look for a pullback typically, but due to these things in here that we covered, you know, we're looking for just a move back down into the bottom of the range here, a 57 or maybe 55 here. We can even break that. Okay, so we got to move. This might be another trade management issue. Let's just see. That was the move we're looking for. Okay, now we might get upended here. That might have been enough for buyers to come in and try to trade back up now. Okay, if we start to see, if we get a big cluster up here, yeah, then we're out. We're out, right? Because now we can get squeezed in here because we got in here. We saw the exhaustion. We saw the selling after this high liquidity. We look for the move to the bottom of the range. We got it. We're getting buyers back up above here, and that now we can get the squeeze and the continuation move higher. All right. So anyway, I'm hoping that kind of puts some pieces together for you. Shark, let me go over Shark's image in here. Sorry about this. And you have a nice move to the upside, McLoco. Okay. Okay, so you just have a filtered CVD setting there for 10 minutes volume per side. Okay. And then Shark, let's see here. Pop this out because I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to show. So you're looking at your delta, I know, on your candlestick in Bookmap here. Delta, okay, looking pretty good. This was the same thing we were looking at. Here's some buying, and then it starts to wane again here, and then your selling picks up again. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, Shark. Talking about absorption, it's hard to see the absorption because I don't know. I mean, I do see the high liquidity in here, looking like it probably transacted. Yeah, well, I mean, again, like the sellers hit into it, and what we want to, this, like I said earlier, first off, this environment can be kind of tricky with all of a sudden, like, you know, buyers or sellers come in and move quickly. On the other hand, we try to read it over time. Okay, and that's what we did earlier. and it worked for the move down, but then the buyers came back in and moved it away, and we got caught up in that. But uh, and that's something we need to react to in real time, and protect ourselves. But the what was I going to say here? No, I think your reading is good, and just trying to understand this context and this relationship. Okay, so this is out of the blue, kind of upended, and went higher here, right? And then now we're trading up at these higher levels, but we're seeing sellers again come back in. Okay, now this is pretty good selling in here, back to the bottom of this range. Okay, what about our higher time frame? We started off with our higher time frame. How's that looking? Well, higher liquidity up here, longer term higher liquidity up around 67 or so. This is still bullish in structure here, to the upside. We were looking for a reversal in here, and just to move to 45 here. 40 actually looks even better. It could even reverse back down into some of these areas where it broke out from. Okay, but yeah, we're kind of trading against the higher time frame structure in here. And let's take a look at our higher time frame candlesticks in here. Yeah, just kind of grinding higher in here. Back up to fill the gap here. And then we'll see. Well, yeah, this is it. I mean, like, it's as it starts to evolve over time in the order flow, we look for the move. And we put the pieces together. So just like Zenoid was talking about, like looking at his higher time frames and looking at price action. Okay, now start to look at the transactions and order flow, and bring that into it, and you'll likely have a higher probability of the trade working out. Okay, so frustrations come along the way, and things get upended, like this upending right in here, right? We got caught up in it twice, actually. Once here, and then one in here. Okay, but we don't know. This still looked good for squeezing these buyers to me, and I'm a little surprised we didn't get down into that 45 liquidity down here. Yeah, still grinding higher here. So higher time frame, yeah, looking for up into this liquidity up here now, 67. Still grinding higher. All right, guys, let me see if there's any more questions in here. And oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Welcome, Zanoid. If you have any questions, you guys, and you're new in here to Bookmap, come to the webinar at 2 p.m. You can come into our Discord, or you'll find it on YouTube. A lot of you guys that have registered for Bookmap, you've got an email. You might have gotten the email from a thank you page as well. So you can come into the Zoom meeting as well. Okay, I think Dan put the Zoom meeting in there for you in the chat. The Bookmap onboarding, yeah, so that you guys can click on that and register for the event and come that way as well. All right, so yeah, we're still grinding higher here and looking for that 67 liquidity. That should be a nice little gap fill up here. Looks like it's going to fill it right around now, to be honest. And then we'll see what happens here. Anyway, looking for that context in the price structure, liquidity, and transactions. That's it. All right, guys. Yeah, let's call it a day. We'll catch up with you later at 2 p.m. for the onboarding webinar. And then we'll also, we won't have another webinar until Friday. But in the meantime, Tom B, he's up next, and volume profile trader. I think we've got some other traders lined up later in the day as well. Go to our learning center, and you can click on the calendar here. I'll show you that. Okay, so the Bookmap Learning Center from Education link, you can scroll down and see the calendar here. Yeah, here we are here. So yeah, Tom B next, then Dharma Capital, crypto trader, excellent crypto trader, John Slazos and Spencer. And then we have our onboarding meeting. Okay, and then tomorrow morning you can see J Trader, large and small cap trader. We also have Brazilian markets. We have a Portuguese speaking trader here, options millionaire, and then we have Tom B, Robert Rother, and Doug with options. Okay, here's our Bookmap Academy on Thursday. All right, we'll hope to see you then. Good trading, and yeah, we'll catch up with you next time. All right, bye-bye.